Welcome everybody, it's Murray here. Today, for all of you that are just stumbling on my live stream, this is episode 28 of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones configuration live stream, where we're configuring and installing Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, or Finance and Supply Chain. From the ground up, so that you can all see that it's really not that hard to do. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going out and continuing our adventures in the realms of Faerûnian. And today what we're doing is we're going to keep on working through our accounts receivable section, and we're going to set up collections. Everyone loves collections because collections get the money out of the customers, which yesterday or in the previous live stream, what we did is we created invoices. And for the life of me, I still can't work out why the free text invoice wouldn't print, but we're just going to forget about that and move on. Barely an inconvenience. So let's move on and talk about what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be going out and using our lab environment, and in this set of sessions. So in the past, what we've done is we've gone out and we've created our customers, and we've set them up within our lab environment. We've got a couple of customers set up here, and what we did in the previous live stream is if we go out and look at see if we can find some journals. Then what we did is we created some invoices that need to be paid by the customer. So in a couple of episodes, what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the cash receipts and see that happening. But what we're going to do for now is we're going to move over and we're going to start working through the bare bones configuration guides. Now, these are the same guides that you can work through that I've got available through AD&D365.com/start. A little plug there. But we're actually on the fourth module here of the accounts receivable area, and we're going to go out and we're going to work through the collections management. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to set up some information. We're not quite sure how much we're going to do. We'll probably get through half of this today in the half hour that we've got. Now, we're just going to set up the simple collections for now, where we can talk about some of the different collections options along the way. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to create some aging period definitions. So what that does is that allows us to see all the invoices that are being that have been created and see the agings on them based on the due date, and then it allows us to then see which invoices we need to start collecting on, which ones are the problem items. Now, this always gives me problems when I go out and set up the aging periods. So we'll work through this and we'll see how this goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the preamble. And again, I'm sort of live testing a lot of this documentation, just like to act just like you, so that I can experience the configuration guides that I created for you all. But what we're going to do is we're going to create an aging period. And what we're going to do is we're going to create I think we're going to create two aging periods. And the first one is going to be an aging period based on 30-day buckets. So we're going to allow us to segregate out the invoices or the amount due within receivables that are 30 days old, 60 days old, 90 days, and then everything above that as well. And we're going to do that through the aging definitions. And if you haven't seen this documentation, what I've got is I've got the step-by-step guides that we're going to work through, and we're going to do the same thing as we sort of move through. So these are the steps that we're going to go through. It's pretty straightforward, but there's, if I remember back every time I do this, there's a little bit of a trick to it as we go through. So we'll see how good the documentation is. So let's go back to Dynamics. And what we're going to do is we define these buckets or these configurations for our customer agings within the aging definition facility. So now what we've got is we've got two of these. We've got one in accounts payable and one in accounts receivable. I think they're the same. But what we want to do is we want to use the credit and collections version. So accounts receivable, credit and collections. Now we can access this. So even though we're going through the accounts receivable module, as things have been broken out, then some of the areas have moved. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the setup and we're going to find the aging period definitions, which are just down here in the menu item. So I talk about that you can go through the menu item to search for this, or you can do the menu search if you know what you're trying to access. So this is taking us to the aging period definition. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new aging. And what we want to do is we want to give this a code. And I always use, in this case, I use the code, the aging period buckets. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a description here. So I'm cutting and pasting so that we can save a little bit of time here. So let's find my mouse wherever you are. Let's go down here. So this is an aging definition, and I think this is new. It's actually done all of this for me, which is nice. And so we may go through this faster. I'm not quite sure whether this is a new feature or not, but what this has done is this has created our aging for us, and it's gone out and chosen the periods for us. It's gone out and said the current aging period is anything that is from 0. And then the 30-day aging is anything that is over 30 days. The 60-day aging is going to be another 30 days back. So we're not going to say minus 60 because that would take us to the 90-day aging bucket. And then the 90 would be another 30 days back. And then the final one, the 90 days plus, or the 180 sort of section that we've got in our period. Hopefully we're not keeping our aging is going to be an unlimited interval. So we've got days here. We're going to create another aging definition, which is slightly different, where I think as we go through. And then what we've got is we've got icons here for the agings as well. So this is, let's see, let me just make sure this is right. So we'll check this because I've got okay. So what we can also do is when we print this, we can say whether we want to print it forward, that's going to create the aging from current to 30 to 60 to 90 to 90 plus, or backwards where everything that's over 90 days old is actually first, and then the agings go the other way. So let's just stick with forward for now and save this. So this is our first aging bucket. Okay, and I don't have another one in here, but some other agings that we can do, we can go out and we can create different agings for weekly periods. So if let's let's create one more. And I'm going to create this in 7, 14, 21, and 28. So this is going to be an aging for 7 days, 14 days, so 2 weeks, which is a fortnight, 14 nights, 21, and 28 days. So this has gone out and it's automatically defaulted in the standard aging that we've got here. But I want to change this to 7. This is -7. This is 14, -14. This is 21. Sorry, this is going to be 7, 7, and the 28 plus is going to be the unlimited item. So what we're now seeing is that we've got the aging periods broken out by day. Now let's create one. Let's try to create one more, and what we're going to do is this is going to be, let's delete this. What we're going to do is just create one more, and this is going to be -2 weeks current plus 2 weeks. So what this is going to be a aging period where we're showing the 2 weeks current 2 weeks. I don't think this is the right term for this. But what we're going to do is we're going to go +2. And this is going to be -14. And then I'm going to remove these periods here. And then let's make this -2, and then -3 plus. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go +2, and then say this is going to be for 2 weeks into the future. And I need to go and research what the right terminology for this is. But what this is going to do is it's going to create an aging for us where we see what is upcoming in the next 2 weeks, what is current, what is due, what is 2 weeks overdue, and everything that's further overdue after that. So we've got some different aging buckets that we can go out and set up here. So this is how we go out and sort of create different classifications for our agings within the system. So what we've done is we've gone out and set up our agings. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just configure some of this collection information within the accounts receivable agings itself. And all we're really going to do is we're going to say, go into the collection defaults for the accounts receivable and define our standard aging for that. So I can save this, and then we're going to go back to the server. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the accounts receivable parameters. So I can do a search here, just to be complete. I could actually go over to the accounts receivable parameters here through the menu, which is what I'm going to do. So now what we've got is we've got a lot of information here that we can go out and maintain. And we can actually start going out and adding more information here. But what we want to do is we want to go into the collections area. And let's see. And what we want to do is we want to go out and select the standard period definition that I want here for our collection. So this is just setting up the standard collection information for me. Now, we're not going to worry about interest fees right now, and we're not going to worry about, although maybe we can go out and find the email defaults that I want to have, or the email templates that I want to use whenever I have contact transactions or statement transactions or transactions that are being sent out. We can actually go out and specify what the write-off journal is, and let's see, we don't have any write-off reason codes, so we're not going to manage that. And then all of this looks pretty good. So the main thing that we're trying to do is that we just want to set this aging definition here within the configuration and set that into action. So now we've done that. What we're going to do is we've gone through, we set up the aging. So again, these are small steps, but they're not hard, but you want to make sure that you go out and configure them in the system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go out and create a snapshot for our aging. Now the agings in this case, they don't automatically update every time, or they're not a dynamic snapshot. So what we do is we take a snapshot of the aging, and that's what we use for collections. And then if we want to update the aging on a customer, we can actually do that, and I'll show you how to do that within the system in just a second. So this and if we go, I'll show you the reason why we want to do this. And if I go into, let's go into the inquiries, then say, for example, if I go out and I want to look at the customer aging report. So what this is going to do is this is going to show me all of the invoices that are due to be paid, including the ones that we created. So what I can do is I can say, let me find my mouse. I want to do an aging as of, let's say, for the end of the month, and the balance as of the end of the month. And we're going to base this on the transactions. And what is our aging definition? We'll go out and we'll have a look at some different agings along the way. And let's just leave it at that, and let's see what this creates. But I think we're going to be severely disappointed, because what we're going to do is we're not going to see any agings unless this report is going out and doing it all manually for us. Okay, so it's gone out and created the aging for us here with the balances. So as you can see, we've got some of the transactions that we created in the previous live stream. So we've got our current accounts, or we've got our current balances, our balances that are 30 days due, which is and the 30 days due because they were created in my time yesterday. And then we've got some of the other agings here in the system. But if I go out and if I go into a customer and look at a customer and go into the collections, then let's see. Then let's look at the collections balance. Then we're going to see some of the transactions here in the view. And I'm trying to remember where. Okay, so if, for example, if I go into the collections and go into the workspaces, and I think if I go into the credit and collections workspace, then we're not going to see anything here in the agings or down here in the view. So it's actually saying there's no aging snapshot exists, so we need to create that snapshot. So we can go out and we can look at the transactions as they're being created. But if we're going through the workbench, then we're actually not going to see that. So what we want to do is we want to go into the periodic tasks, and what we want to do is we want to do an aged customer balance. So I'm going to do this a couple of ways. I'm going to say that I want to create the aging period definition for 60, 30, 90, 180. And I'll do this for the Waterdeep Trading Company. That's all I've got. And I'm doing it based off, let's select the date based off the end of the month. So now this is going out and creating our aging snapshot for us. So that didn't take very long. And if I go back to my recent and go to my credit and collection workspace, and if I go to the aged balances, then what we're going to see is we're going to see the customer balance here, and we can see that Melting Pot and Stowell Stag Outfitters haven't got any balances, but these other three customers actually do. Now, if I go out and change the aging definition to another definition, then we don't have anything. So let's just go and quickly go and run our aged balance, and we can run this for another period. Also, as a side note, if you wanted to run this in the background, then what you can do is you can set this up as a recurrence and run this every day at for example, 6 a.m. and set this up so that this is always going to be updated. It's always going to run every day, so you don't actually have to go out and run this. But let's do this manually. And we're going to go out and update that, and then we'll run it. Let's run it for the other date period that we've got. So we've actually now got 3 different ways that we can go and look at our agings in the system. So let's go back to our credit and collections workspace and look at our aged balances here. So now we can look at the 30, 60, 80, 90 balances. And let's just make this a little bit smaller for now. And what we can see is we can see the transactions that we did in the previous live stream showing up. I can also go and look at my weekly balances. So we can see that we don't have any items that are in the grace period, but we do have some that are due within this current week. And also, if I wanted to look at this up on a daily basis, then we can actually see that these items or these invoices are due within the next 7 days. So depending on your collections preference that you may want, then we can go out and we can see the agings in different formats. So this is so what we're going to do is we're going to stop here because we're coming up on the 25 minutes. The next section is talking about customer collection pools and a couple of other things. So this is a good time to stop. We've gone through and done quite a bit here, but I'll show you some other items that we've got. So for example, if I want to go out and look at our aging balances, then there's some there's some diagrams or reports that are showing up here in the different aging buckets that we have here. The interesting thing is that this balance that we can have here, if we click on it, then it's going to take us over to the aged balance, and it's going to show us the transactions that that are linked directly back to those individual items. So we can go out, and as we get more and more transactions coming through, we're going to see these become a little bit more elaborate and prettier, because we're going to see the different aging buckets being progressing through the dates. And as we pay them, then some of these are going to drop off within the system. So this is the collections workbench, allows us to go out and grab some of these. Now, we don't have any pools, but in the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to set up those credit pools, and we're going to manage those within the system. Now, also, if I wanted to go out and if I wanted to just filter this out to one customer, then notice the aged balances are changing just for this customer. So the credit and collection workbench gives us a lot of sort of filtering that we can manage here. If you're in a live environment or a tier 2 or a production environment, then you can also click on the analytics, and that's going to take you over to Power BI as well. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to stop here, and because we've gone out and we've finished this section, and we've gone out and looked at the aging workbench and the collection management, and we've gone out and we're seeing these invoices sort of run through in the system. So in the next live stream, we're going to continue on, and we're going to finish off this module and get that done. So with that said, we're going to close off. We're getting pretty much close to the half-hour mark, which is where I want to be for these bite-sized sort of chunks as we're setting up dynamics. And if anyone has any questions, then don't hesitate to put comments in the live stream chat. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn, or if you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook, then just add comments. I really appreciate the feedback, and it validates me to make me think that people are actually watching this. And if anyone's really interested in helping support this sort of grassroots sort of endeavor to show you how to set up Dynamics 365 from the ground up, to get all the way up to even the supply chain management, the products, the inventory, sales, and purchasing, then just go to that link up there, scan that in, and you can become a Patreon member. If you want to find all of these guides, then you can go to adnd365.com/start, and all of the existing documents are there, and also the new 5th edition, as we start rolling these out, are available to you. So that's a little bit of plug. If you want to go out and do this yourself, then we've actually got lab environments as well that you can lease, so you can just use as you're going through the setup, and you could create your own company in Faerûn. So with that said, we're going to stop, and I hope this was interesting to everybody, and until we meet again on the next live stream.